Yeah, welcome to another video, and I have some questions right in front of me. So let's get into it. Okay, I have these. A cyclist travels from A to B, a distance of 8 kilometer at X kilometer per hour. He travels from B to A, the same cyclist, the same distance at X minus 4 kilometer per hour. If the total time taken is 1 hour 10 minutes, find X. So solution. Okay, from this question, I know I will need this formula. Speed is equal to distance over time. So I will have to define some parameters like my distance is equal to 8 kilometer, and my speed here is definitely X kilometer per hour. But see, it travels from B to A. So I can call this distance 1, that's the first distance, and this velocity, speed 1, or velocity, anyone you call it. So this should be my distance 2, D2, which is the same 8 kilometer from here, same distance. Then my V2, my speed 2, is X minus 4 kilometer per hour. Now, if the total time taken is this, find X. So I will define a formula for my total time taken, which is equal to T1, T2, up to Tn, like depending on the number of times he went to and fro. But this, he went to and fro just twice. So now, but my total time has been given to me as 1 hour 10 minutes, which I can call 70 minutes, because 1 hour is 60 minutes plus 10 minutes, that's 70 minutes. Now I can convert the 70 minutes into hour, and I'll divide it by 60, which is 7 over 6 hours. So this is my total time. So total time taken, I just impute it into the formula here. So my T1 from this particular expression, this particular equation here, I can say my T is equal to D over V. If I call this Tn, Vn, so this should be N. Now, this is what I will need. My first T, which is T1 here, is definitely 8 over X, plus my second T here, 8 over X minus 4. Then from here, I solve further. Easiest way to take LCM is to multiply these two together, then multiply this by this, and multiply this by this. So if I multiply this, I'll have x squared minus 4x. I multiply this by this, I'll have 8x. And 8 times 4 should give me negative 4, should give me negative 32. Then this times this will give me plus 8x. So, oh, sorry, this is 7 over 6, 7 over 6 from here. I didn't know where I get this half from. So 7 over 6. So from here, I'll solve further. I have 16x, which is 8x plus 8x minus 32 all over s squared minus 4x. So if I cross multiply here, I will have 7 x squared minus 4x, and here 16x minus 32. So if I expand the bracket, I should have 7x squared minus 7 times 4, 28x, then 16 times 6 will be 96x, then 6 times 32 give me 192. Okay, here if I rearrange, I will have 7x squared minus 28x this coming to this place, I will have negative 96x. Then here I will have positive 192 all equal to 0. Now I can see that this is a quadratic equation. So this is a word problem leading to quadratic equation. So I'll have 7x squared. This should give me 124x plus 192. Now I can solve this using my quadratic formula, which is what I am writing down right now for AC over 2A. So this is my quadratic formula where this stands as my A, this my B, and this is my C. So I'll just impute it and the answer will just pop out. Now my B here, sorry, my B here is negative 124, but I am going to write 124 because this negative cancels out this negative. So then remember I said negative 124 all squared minus 4 times 7, then times 192 all divided by 2a, 2 times 7, that is 14, because a is 7, 2 times 7 is 14. So I just rule a nice straight line here, and I'll have my 124 plus or minus square roots. Now the square of a negative number gives me a positive number. So I'll have 15376 here, and minus 4 times 7 times 192 will give me minus 5376 all divided by 14. So this is 124 plus or minus this minus this is 10,000. 14, that the square root of 10,000 is 100. And so this can be interpreted as 124 plus 100 divided by 14, or 124 minus 100 divided by 14. Then this is 224 divided by 14, or 24 divided by 14, where 224 divided by 14 will give me 16, which is my answer, and this will give me 1.7. So 16 is the correct answer to this particular word problem. Now I have something similar to this also, but it will take a different approach. So let's look into it. Okay, this one is James walks a distance of 10 kilometers at an average speed of x kilometer per hour. Jane walks the same distance at x minus 1 kilometer per hour. If the difference, mark this, difference in their times is 30 minutes, find the value of x. Now this is a little bit different from what we just saw in the other example. So solution, like I did, I know I am going to be needing this. Oh, sorry. Okay, now, and my time is equal to dn, vn, where I have my d1 to be equal to 10 kilometer and my v1 to be equal to x kilometer. Then my second distance is still the same thing, same 10 kilometer from here at a reduced speed v2 of x minus 1 kilometer per hour. This is per hour. Now Remember in the last example, we did the total time, but here we are given that if the difference in their times is 30 minutes, find the value of x. Now, if I say the difference between 3 and 2 is 1, how do I know it's 1? Big number minus small number, 3 minus 2 will give me 1. And since we are more focused on time here, if you reason with me, the faster the speed, the slower the time. The faster the time, the slower the speed. So if time increases, the speed reduces. And if speed increases, the time reduces. So that's mainly the implication of this formula here. So from this basic concept that I've just explained, we see that this will take the longer time. And so if I am doing my difference, I will say this time here minus this should give me 30 minutes. But before that, let me take this as my 30 minutes. 30 minutes, which is the same thing as half an hour. I think this was where I got the half from. Wow. Okay. Half an hour. So from here, I'll have my t is equal to t2 minus t1, which is the difference in their time, which is 30 minutes, which is my half here, and my T2, which is this one that takes the longer time, is 10, following this formula now. This formula 10 divided by x minus 1 and minus T1, which is same 10 divided by x. Okay, from here I do the same step I did in the other one. So the basic thing about word problem is to understand and interpret this correctly. Now, this is minus. If you do it the other way around, we are not going to get the answer because I already explained to you this takes much time than this. So this is the bigger one here. So if I take my LCM, x squared minus x 10x, then this I'll have now. Be careful when you are using a negative sign. Be careful when you are using a negative sign. 10 times x, I will have 10x. Then 10 times negative 1, I will have negative 10. So have 10x. Then this negative here, which is this one here, opens the bracket, stands at negative 1, 10x. Then this give me a positive 10 over x square minus x. And I will have that this 10x minus 10x, so this is out of this expression, this equation remains this. So from here I have simplified it, so I just cross multiply. I have my x squared minus x, then 2 times 10, which is my 20, then my quadratic equation, which I can easily solve by factorization. So solving this by factorization, I will have that my quadratic equation becomes x squared minus 5x plus 4x minus 20 equal to 0. And if you don't know how I got this, it's a simple step in factorization. You multiply negative 20, which is the last term, by the first term, which is just 1 here. You give me negative 20x squared. Then I just think of two values that if I multiply them together, I'll have my negative s squared, negative 20s squared. Then if I add them together, I will have my negative x here, which is this minus 5x plus 4x is this, and minus 5x multiply by 4x here will give me negative 20x squared, which we can say is the multiple of the last term here and the first term here. So that was how I got my minus 5x and this. So if I factor out x, I'll have x minus 5 here. If I factor out 4, I'll have x minus 5, which is basically the same thing here, equal to 0. Now, if you want to check, this multiplied by this will give you this. This multiplied by this will give you this. We are correct. This multiplied by this gives you this. Why this multiplied by negative 5 gives you negative 20. So we are correct. Our equation becomes x minus 5, x minus 4. Okay, all equal to 0. So x minus 5 is equal to 0. X is equal to 5, which is the answer, since x minus 4 is equal to 0 and x is equal to, sorry, x plus 4, simple error, then x is equal to minus 4, and a negative is not allowed. So this is my answer, 5. So if we can see, that these two are similar, but the approach and the understanding is quite different. So I still have two more I'm going to show you in the next video. All right, so bye for now. See you in the next video.